We've had a lot of growth in general here, as you know, Greg, but especially business growth. The downtown here, the area around the square especially, has become a very popular destination for a lot of people. We got some really nice new retail that's come in over the last several, couple years, I guess, really. And we've got a lot of nice restaurants that have come in, and especially we just had one open up that's has rooftop seating and brand new building, and that's Rains on Exchange. So that's been a big draw here. But we also have the others. We have Brews on the square over there, and we have the Blue Heron, which used to be located in Clemson. And then, of course, the bakery over here. So this is a good place. Mexican restaurant over behind me. It's a good place to come and, have a nice meal and just walk around and look at this beautiful square we have downtown here. And we've got a lot of other retail here. The art studio, Mountain Made over here with antiques and collectibles and stuff like that. The Framery. We have the two Whatnots over there for children's clothes, the Newtique Boutique over here. We have the herbs over here, and that you can go and look at the Green Heart Awakenings, which is a great business. We have an ice cream place over here, Mama Ray's. Man, I mean, you just look around what we've got here now. We've got a lot, and not to mention, of course, what's been here for years and years over there. We've got our other retail stores that have been here for quite some time. The Mercantile over there being one of them, which has been a staple here downtown for a long, long time. So, and then of course 1826, we're standing next to it, is a great restaurant, and the Farmer Society building here. Of course, it's just, we got a lot going on here in downtown Pendleton, just as far as new businesses. And of course, same thing on a 76 corridor over here. We've got a lot of things there. We've got a Mexican restaurant there. We've got Little Caesars over there. We've got a Zaxby's being built there. And of course, we've got Bojangles. We've got, QT even serves a lot of food over there. And we have Yolk over here in the shopping center, which is an interesting restaurant that is really nice. But just a lot of things happening here in downtown. Especially.
Well, in downtown, particularly with this growth, comes a challenge of parking, and y'all got a plan for that, right?
We do, and that's something we've been working hard on, and staff's been working really hard on here, and we're getting ready to implement there. But not only just parking spaces, we're also going to put in a lot of new lighting to make it safer for people to walk, because as we grow downtown here, there's going to be a little more walking involved. So we're trying to do everything possible to make it pedestrian friendly. So you saw what we did with the downtown master plan to kind of put in these bump outs, put in better parking and slow traffic down, and that's our goal, to slow traffic down and make it more pedestrian friendly. And as I say that, we've got some people coming through here on bikes, but we want to make it a safe place for them to walk around to get to the various businesses, because as we grow, everybody's not going to be able to park right in the front door of where they're trying to go. But we do have a lot of parking that's going to become available off the square here, really close by. But they're going to have to walk to get there. So we want to make sure we got really good lighting for them and a lot of safety features built in.
And you already have a lot of sidewalks. You got any plans to add any sidewalks?
We're working on some of that now, in that we're trying to reclaim the sidewalks we've got, because over a period of time we have had, things just grow over the sidewalk and cover it, and we just gone the last couple of weeks, and we've been really going hard at trying to get all the sidewalks cleaned off so we can really see exactly what condition we got with that. And also we plan to go forward with putting in better sidewalks where needed, and additional sidewalks if needed. Third thing I wanted to say, I guess, would be, along with the parking, we have Westinghouse Road over here, and as you know, we've got a lot of new growth out there on 76 and 187. And we plan to realign Westinghouse Road and line it up with what's Swaney Circle that goes around there, which connects to the new development out there on 187 and 76, just to improve the connectivity from one side of town to the other, if nothing else. From Lebanon Road, you'll be able to get straight up Westinghouse, straight across, You can go around on Swaney and you connect directly with that shopping center over there and not even get on 76. And of course all the folks out there on that end, they can come out that end of the subdivision down there. They can connect right to the shopping center, never even get on 76. So we're just trying to look at everything possible to make the connectivity better, and of course also try to increase pedestrian safety. We'd like to put in, I can't speak for the entire council on this, but I know myself and at least one other council member, we'd like to see a crosswalk down there too. Don't know if that's going to be possible this time around just due to funding, but eventually we'd like to see a crosswalk going across 76 there. Be especially nice for some of the people down here on South Mechanic, Village Square Apartments and Green Glen Apartments and Pendleton Gardens and all those places. A lot of those folks, some of them not by choice, but they have to walk. That's the only mode of travel they have. So they have to walk to get to the grocery store over there and things like that, and we'd like to make that safe for them too.
One of the other things in growth you've talked about, I just wondered if you have any updates on a new fire station and some new development?
That's right, yeah. So we are establishing something called a TIF district. And TIF is an acronym for tax increment financing. So we have an area over here off of East Queen Street that's called Village Hills. It's been there for a long time. It was mostly mobile homes in there, and it's deteriorated over the years. It was put in there in the early 70s. And the infrastructure is really bad over there and so on. And there's really not much over there. And there's not very much being generated over there in the way of tax revenue either. I think the total amount of tax revenue coming from over there for the town in a year is about $9,000. So it's really low. So what we intend to do there is we're going to issue bonds, and they'll be paid for by the tax increment financing, which is if there's a developer will come in there and put in single family homes and hopefully some affordable, different types of affordable housing. So there'll probably be a range there from, I don't know, maybe 190 to maybe 350 for houses, somewhere in that range. And as those houses go in there, the taxes from those houses will pay for the infrastructure upgrades over there, because we'll have to improve the roads, we'll have to improve the water and the sewer. All of that stuff is in sad shape over there. And so that's the way it will be paid for, is with the tax revenue from the new homes coming in there. So we won't actually realize that revenue, except that we'll be paying off the bonds with it, if that makes sense. So we would not be the only ones involved in this. The county will be on board with it too, so they'll be helping with this, because it's the same thing for them. You know, they're not getting any money out of that over there really to speak of. So eventually this will bring in more revenue for the county. It'll also bring in more revenue for us eventually. It'll take a little while, you know, to get the bonds paid off, but it's also hopefully going to allow us to build a new fire department, because we can take some of that bond money, because it's going to be in that area, and we'll build a new fire department over there, and hopefully a new public works facility over there. So we'll be able to do those things. And that development there, and then there's another new development going in adjacent to it there that was on what they call the Morton Farm property. That'll be a part of that TIF district too. And those houses will be quite a bit more expensive on, you know, on the average. So that'll bring in more money to help pay off the bonds and so on and so forth. Anything we bring into that TIF district over there in that part of town is going to help pay the bonds, and it's going to really, really bring that side of town up as far as the quality of the infrastructure, the roads, and the housing and everything else. So we think that'll be a really good thing, and hopefully we may even be able to rehabilitate the dog houses. You know what the dog house is, but I guess I should explain that for the people that don't. It's the old Pendleton High School gymnasium that's over there, and it's kind of going downhill because it had mold in it and some problems, and we had to just close it off because of the mold. Last mayor that was here before me, Randy Hayes, he had to close it down because there was mold in it. And we just don't want to see it go down to the point of having to tear it down. So we'd like to fix that, and we could use it in our rec program, which is another thing. You know, we'd like to try to improve the rec program as we're going here, because recreation is very important to people. We've got a lot of new people coming in here that are going to want as good a recreation as possible, and their kids, you know, that are here with them, we would love to see them participate in the rec programs, you know, because I graduated from Pendleton High School. Trying to have these kids start young to really, you know, develop their skills, so when they get to Pendleton High School, we maybe win a state championship again in a couple of sports. So we'd love to see that happen. So we're working on that too, but it takes time. And of course, there are some other people that participate in the rec program besides the people here in town, and a lot of those live in the county just right around us here. So we hope to help them with that too. And you know, if we get lucky, maybe the county will help us a little bit with that too. So we're looking at all avenues on that, but it takes a little time to get that going, because we got to figure out where that money's coming from. But we did put some money in the budget this year for a rec director, and we're still trying to hire one. So we're working on that, and hopefully we'll get that squared away next. But you know,
speaking of rec, and we're planning to walk in town. Any updates on trails or connecting to the trails and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when I say rec, you know, the first thing you think of is football, basketball, baseball, things like that. But just as important is pickleball courts, walking trails, things like that. And yeah, we're definitely working on that side of things too, because especially for young folks like me and you know, or used to be young folks, you know, that's good stuff for us. We're probably not going to get out there and play football anymore, me and you, but we will. We can definitely get on the pickleball court, have some fun, maybe do some walking and hiking on the trails, and again, that improves connectivity. And you know, if you want to travel, you know, without getting in a car, you know, you got some ways to get from A to B around here. Some more ways, I should say. Okay, so I just sent out an email after our last, not long after our last council meeting, because we did get an early Christmas present this year, in that we finally have a contract signed with a developer who's going to come in and redevelop the oil mill property. And this individual, this company, and his company, they've done a lot of projects like this. They're really good at it, and they want to work with the town for, you know, with a small area plan for that part of the town. And that's going to really tie in with the TIF district and all that. It's going to be close to the TIF district and that whole area. So that's one of the best, I guess, bits of news we've had lately, that we've finally gotten to a point where we've created a win-win situation for everybody. And you know, I'd just like to applaud council for sticking with us on that, and their patience and everybody's patience, because it took us a long time to get this going, but it would have taken us a lot longer had we gone down the legal road, although, you know, we had started that process, but that process could have gone on for years and years, and you know, we'd have spent a lot of money in legal fees, and then we would have had to tear it down and pay to tear it down ourselves. So you were looking at you know, several $1 million probably to accomplish all that. So this is a big win for us, and it's a big win for the people that have had to put up with it, and especially those that live close to it, because it's been not only an eyesore, but you know, you have had a lot of just things like you know, I guess rats and snakes and things like that around close to it, and we're just going to be really happy when we get it down, and I hope that will happen within this coming year. We should, if everything goes right, we should see it down this coming year. I think we could see it down sooner than that, but what will happen first will be environmental testing on what's there, and then they'll have to dispose of what's there that is a hazardous material, and then after that's done, then they can get it down pretty fast. So you know, timeline, I'd say it's anywhere from 6 months to a year to get it down, and then you'll probably just see a field of grass there for quite a while, because there'll be a lot more environmental testing going on with what's in the ground before you can do anything else with it much. You'll have to check off all the boxes and then eventually, you know, he can start developing something down there. You know, not sure what that will be yet because it depends on the small area plan that'll probably take place and citizen input and things like that. So that's kind of what's coming down the road for that. And that sort of leads me into something else we're doing is we're rewriting the zoning ordinance, the entire ordinance. So that's something that's been sorely needed. It's costing us a pretty fair amount of money, but it's really a great thing if you consider the amount of growth that we're embracing here, and like everybody I guess in the county is. But we want to make sure that we know what our plan is going forward. So we want to go ahead and plan now rather than have to react to it later, which is what, you know, has been done, what most small towns end up having to do. We're trying to be proactive with that and rewrite the ordinance, and it'll be easier to really understand what's in the ordinance at that point too. It'll make it easier for us and easier for anybody to be able to understand our zoning ordinance and how it applies to them. So, you know, hopefully at that point, if somebody comes in to develop something, you know, most of the time it'll already be in front of them what they have to do. And, you know, you won't have to go through a long procedure to get it approved or denied. You'll just know up front, you can do this, but you can't do that. That kind of thing is a simple way, I think, of putting it.
And those two things are historic changes for protecting sort of the community and just the feel of Pendleton, right? That oil mill cleanup and getting your zoning in place.
Yeah, it is. I think it, you know, we have to be especially careful here. We appreciate the growth this on the fringes and on the 76 corridor, which is a commercial corridor. But, you know, this part here in the downtown is really special and really unique. So it needs to be treated differently. So we want to protect what we have here and the historical character. But at the same time, you know, we want to allow for, you know, a reasonable amount of growth here too, I think. And that's my viewpoint is, again, I don't always speak for council. So, you know, there's some folks out there that may have a little different viewpoint, but this is me. This is my viewpoint. But the downtown is a real special place, so we want to keep it special.
Most of the towns I've talked to, that 2022 was a big deal because it's the first time we were able to have full-fledged events after the pandemic. How important was that for Pendleton?
Well, having you know, first of all, I guess the pandemic was really tough for everybody. It hurt, you know, it hurt our businesses here, and not only here, everywhere. So the businesses had to really suffer going through that. So, you know, when we were able to get back to having full-fledged events here, that's big for these people downtown here especially. So we're really happy now that, you know, our Spring Festival, Spring Jubilee is back full force. Our Fall Festival is back full force, because that brings a lot of people in here and puts them in front of these businesses and vendors that we have that would come in and participate in those events. And we added some things, you know, the Historical Foundation, they sponsored some events, some music up here on the green and things like that. We've tried to add a lot of that just to give people some activities while they're here, rather than just go in and eat and leave, or go in and buy something and leave. You know, they can wander around, listen to some music, and just kind of hang out up here. So that was big, definitely was big. Another thing we're doing here going forward too in the upcoming year, I'm going to be having a little meeting once a month just for the general public. This is not a full-fledged council meeting, but it's just a meeting that I'd like to see our residents, our business owners, whoever wants to come, just to ask questions, just to come in and talk to us. And you know, if they've got concerns, if they've got questions, if they don't know what's going on, they can certainly, you know, this helps a lot what we're doing here with you, but I want to try to, you know, answer any questions anybody's got. And we'll have our staff, some of our staff there to help answer those questions, as well as we can't have a quorum of council there to discuss things unless we advertise it as a meeting. So we're going to stay away from that, but we will have, every one of our council members will have an opportunity to be there at those meetings, and we will rotate through those. So we'll have one council person there per meeting is our plan. and just want to be something informal. Don't have to dress up, don't have to do anything, just come hang out with us. We put it out there as happy hour with the mayor. There will be no alcohol served at it. It's just hopefully a happy, fun time to just kind of chill out, shoot the breeze with each other, and see if you got any questions or concerns. We want to address those and give you some answers.
Anything else you and council have identified for the first 3 or 4 months of 2023 y'all want to see accomplished? Or have we covered it pretty much?
Yeah, one last thing here, Greg, would be just want to invite anybody that hadn't been to downtown Pendleton in a while, please come down and visit us and come hang out with us. I think you'll be really impressed and surprised at what we have here. It's just a great place to come and hang out and relax and have a good time. So, and our residents love it here, both our old ones and our new ones. I think we got a fantastic town here. We got a great staff working here for us at the town. We got a great town council, good people on there all the way that they all want the best possible for Pendleton, and that's one of the big things about Pendleton. You will find the greatest thing about Pendleton is the people here, from the people on council to the people that live here. And you don't have to go far here in this town to find somebody if you got a problem to help you. They will. Everybody cares about this town. We sometimes have different viewpoints, but hopefully, we can agree to disagree here if we have to a little bit. But this is a great town and great people, and the people here what make it one of the biggest things, besides the historical character and all that. The people make a big difference, because here most people know who you are if you're here very long, and you have a real sense of community here in the town of Pendleton. So those are my favorite things about Pendleton, I guess I would say. And with that, I'll close and just say, come on up and see us sometime, folks. We'd love to have you.